All right, everyone. It is Tuesday, and hopefully you had a great weekend and you heard those words, I love you. But if you didn't, then I think this is a great idea for you to be here tonight and share this live stream with anyone who's out there because one of the things that we are talking about here tonight is have there been a threat when it comes down to love in relationships of or is this stopping people from not just falling in love and not with yourself, but with other people, having relationships? Or is there any kind of things out there that's making money from us not being together? And tonight we're going to discuss that. But before I get to that, I want to bring to your attention August the 8th here in Dallas. We have this group, this panel that you're seeing here is going to be in Dallas, Texas. So if any of you in Dallas, put in the chat tonight that you are in Dallas so that we can make sure we give you a special invite. But August 8th, Lionsgate, we're going to be talking about in more detail. We're talking about love, all right? And this is a get together, a lecture, all of these things, especially for the conscious community. And you want to be out here because there is something brewing in the sky that's given us our individuality, but also individuality to stay single. And we just want to know if that's what you want to do or not. But there is a link in the description of everyone's videos, wherever you're watching it. You can go to Eventbrite and go ahead and get you a ticket and make sure that you come and see us. And by the way, I'm not going to give it out, but I do have a bag with magic tricks over here. And in this magic tricks is sex magic. And this bag will be handed to Desiree and her husband, and they're going to teach you some serious things. Only live though, only in an event. We can't talk about it here, but that is just up to you. If you just want to learn that, you come on out. We got Quantas here, and if you haven't seen her, visit her Instagram page. She got an outstanding book that she will go through with you as well. Brother Joseph needs no introduction. That's my guy, y'all know from New Life Tools, who actually is the host of this event in Dallas with partnership with Desiree and her husband Dream and Quantas. And I'm just emceeing. I'm just going to be there give it a wing. I'm going to get a room a little more weight, okay, literally speaking. But I just want y'all to know we're going to have a great time doing this. So with that being said, is there a conspiracy when it comes down to love? And we want all of y'all tonight to be involved in this conversation. And maybe we use the word conspiracy and maybe we can use something else, but maybe there's something up and maybe we're all a part of it. So let me just start around the room a little bit. And the first part about this is we're going to talk about some dating apps before we get in here. Are they designed to help you leave? You get what I'm saying? Because we think about it as helping us to find people. But what if these things are operating in reverse, helping you to leave the person you with because of the way it's designed, the algorithm availability? And nobody really looks at it that way. I look at things in a little reverse. But what do y'all think about that?
That is very interesting. And I have to be honest, I never got the chance to get on dating apps, so I have no clue of what the algorithm is. So I'm definitely looking forward to hearing from y'all who have, had that experience.
Okay. What about Quantas? I
I
see we
don't
got your.
know.
Yeah.
No, well, I've been on dating apps, MySpace, Facebook,
Oh
Instagram, um,
well.
and it's a thing. It's a real thing. It go down in the DMs. So essentially, one of the aspects of the dating app is that you can, profile people um, without any kind of problem at all. You just understand who they are quickly. You feel me? You know the ratchet girl real quick, or you know the classic girl real quick. So essentially, that was a thing. The observation mode was heavy in the Facebook world.
I mean, think about it, Quantas. I'm gonna throw this at you. Think about they would go out of business if they got everybody into a relationship. Why would you go out of business by getting everybody a relationship? What keeps people coming? What keeps people using these, searching for something that they don't find? Is there some hidden things in it? Because you're only good as to the next profile, right? And you're talking about this is a business, and the business is not going to go out of business finding everybody a relationship. So, what do you think about that?
When the topic of conspiracy as it pertains to love and relationships were brought up, that was one thing I thought about. I shared with Desiree that I personally am not a conspiracy theorist because I believe that the government or the businesses and whatever they can feed us, whatever they try to feed us,
Right.
but it's a matter of what we decide to ingest. But at the end of the day, some people's minds are just gonna take it. People's minds are taking things and running with it, like they go on with it. So I did think about that. There more than likely are different forces. It could be certain dating apps that are purposefully um keeping people single, or when I say keeping people single, perhaps using certain methods that they know will keep them on the app or keep them searching, rather than using other methods that could actually connect people. Because, like you said, if everybody got connected, I mean, why would we need the apps?
Right. And
Absolutely.
the other part of that is think about it. Think about shopping with an unlimited products. I mean, you're just and if you never can find, if you're never satisfied, you're going to always continue to look because there's always something else you're looking for. And therefore, you're going to overlook things that could have been a match. But it's like, well, shit, let me just keep.
Right. There's
Yeah.
an infinite selection.
Yeah.
Choice.
It's the illusion of choice.
The choice. Yeah.
The illusion of choice. So, like, remember when you used to scroll down and try to find your favorite porn site or favorite porn video, and you just kept scrolling and scrolling and so, damn, not this one, not this one, no, not this one. Oh, there she go, there she go. Is that so? You're gonna go through an endless scroll of nothingness because, again, if we have the choice to choose whatever, right, or try to choose whatever, then it's just gonna keep on going and going and going. The Energizer Bunny.
Yeah, well, I mean, think about it, because again, we can move into social media, the choices, how people at home in a relationship or want a relationship, and next thing you know, they see somebody on a vacation and wish they were them, or me and my mate is not doing this, or all of this stuff. It's like all of this stuff is designed as though we're looking places for love, but it's also getting you like, and you're seeing it, but you're not being able to choose it or create it or something like that. And so I know there's certain things like that we're going to be addressing when we get down into our relationship seminar and conference and get together. We're going to call that too. And I think at every aspect of this, people need to be kind of aware that there is. And like Kwana said, maybe we're not into conspiracy, but as old Arsenio Hall says, make you go, for you people that's old enough. When it comes down to that. So
I want
let's
to
go
comment on
into,
that real quick
go ahead.
before we
Yeah.
move forward. Just as you talk about the scrolling and the looking on the different apps and all of the media that is in our face, and even the access that we have to people's lives online, like different couples and things of that nature. If we had to talk about Roderick, as you talked about it as an industry, desire itself is an industry. So we could say that it's possibly keeping people out of relationships. I think that more so might be the byproduct of keeping people in a state of constant desiring. And so, that could go in many different ways. But it just goes in line with consumerism, and relationships fall in that bucket. So if you can keep someone in a place of scarcity, that's where we get into like what's probably actually happening. It's like different levels of scarcity are being triggered. Scarcity of love, scarcity of connection. And now you're seeing all of these possible examples of what might not even be real online. The people be having BBLs in the front and BBLs in the back, like you just never know what may or may not be real, but it keeps you in a state of desiring. And so the desire brings you back to the app. The desire has you looking for your favorite porn video, and that's what keeps people out of a place of contentment, which would then actually have them settle with a person.
It's a strong energy of understanding serendipity and understanding that everything moves in a space of like, oh wow, I actually met this person. Remember when you went to the store to go get a CD? Like now we just get the music on our phone, so there's no love in it. There's no real love. There's no, I'll just get another one. I'll just do something else. You feel me? I used to record music on the little tape players. Y'all remember that?
Yeah.
Put it in a record, press the red button, and record the radio music. Now all the music's on my phone.
Yeah.
So then you don't appreciate it as much, right? And you don't really see any value in it. So then now it creates a problem in our minds that there is no value in relationships. Then the sex industry is a mess because essentially sex is the strongest force on earth. So now they selling dick pills and get your vagina more tighter and all these different things to infiltrate our mind to get our ego driven, our energy up. You feel me? So now we're feeling like we're
it's a product.
Gotta be the man. You feel me? You gotta be the man because your dick can stay hard for 8 hours. So that's what it is. I'm just telling y'all what it is. Like the ego is a motherfucker in this earth realm, and we just gotta understand that to the core.
I'm sorry. I heard you talk about somebody paying money to get close. I'm like, who got what running through their ass that they got to go pay to get tightened up? God damn.
Hey, it's a real thing, man. I just heard it on Real Housewives of Atlanta. She said, "Hey, look, go get my shit tight." And I was like, "Oh shit."
Well, I wish I would find a receipt in her car. Be like, what the fuck is this? Anyway. So I'm sorry, yeah. But let's go back to the conspiracy. Think about the gender war. I made some notes here. Men and women are constantly told to distrust each other. We see it all the time. Men are told women are users. Women are told men are dangerous, emotionally unavailable, or only interested in sex. Everybody's taught how to protect themselves, and it's just like people are not trying to understand each other, but this is going on in social media, but yet we're trying to figure out, like Brother Yosa said, is somebody attacking love? Why are this is on the algorithm, it's everywhere, and some people just walking away like, man, you can't trust nobody when they see everybody is talking about you can't trust nobody.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's 100% true, man. And it's crazy because I do believe that there's a conspiracy against I don't know if it's people being happy with somebody else or just somebody trying to stop the family structure. You know what I'm saying? I don't know. But it's definitely something going on. And they generalize the very small issues. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And they keep feeding it to you on TikTok. This is the problem. This is what's wrong with men. All men are like this. Hey, this is what's wrong with women. All the women think like this. This was wrong with all the women. And it's like, after you see it so much, the way I think, why you keep feeding this to me?
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, you know what? This is a program. They're using this, social media to kind of feed you a program so you can start believing it because the person looks like you. They kind of relate to what you're saying. They make you feel like some kind of way, even though you may not, it ain't true. It feels good. So I'm going to agree with it. You know what I mean? And that becomes people's mindset. And now that breaks up the family structure because all the men now, I'm not going to blame Kevin Samuels. I was a fan of his. I don't agree with everything he say. I agree with 95% of stuff he say. But he was definitely wrong on some things. But
problematic.
He didn't care how you felt about it. He was going to say it. You know what I'm saying? But at the same time, that caused everybody know he changed the game on this thing because he created a bunch of little Kevin Samuels. You know what I'm saying? Now you got 100 little Kevin Samuels out here. You know what I'm saying? And now you got women coming back at it, and it's becoming this war.
Yeah.
Oh, this and that, and nobody knows what to do anymore. All we know how to do is attack each other. So we have to be careful with that because there is a conspiracy, without a shadow of a doubt.
Yeah, because the algorithm don't reward for healthy and love. It rewards for anger. Because I was looking the other day and there was a video titled "How My Husband and I wrote it down, learned to communicate better," and it had like 100 views. And I was just doing a comparison. There was another one called "All Men Are Trash" or "Never Trust Women." Had 1 million, 2 million views. I'm like, whoa! But we know the algorithm pushes this stuff. You get what I'm saying? And conflict gets clicks. We're talking outrage on the comments, and fear keep people watching. And this is why we are doing this particular conference and seminar, or whatever we want to call it, August the 8th. I'm gonna put it back on the screen. We're gonna handle this. We're gonna handle this as a collective group. You guys got to come out because you are being programmed with the stuff that we're talking about today. And so August the 8th here in Dallas, come and see us live. Everybody in here, Quantas will be there as well. And you can watch it live stream or you can watch it in the room. But definitely if you're near Dallas, you want to come and check us out in pretty much, but the links is in the description. So I'll give the mic over here to Brother Joseph and stuff. Let's kind of go in your thoughts on why it's a possible alleged conspiracy, and let's just kind of dig it out of your bag here from your perspective.
Okay. Oh, y'all, anybody who knows me know I'm a metaphysician. You know what I'm saying? And that's what I study. I study energy. I study psychology. I study all that type of stuff. And I love patterns. I noticed them very fast. And I've been like that since a little boy. I love strategy. All the movies I like to watch strategy movies. Anything dealing with something hard to figure out, I can figure it out. So as I sit back and just observe, which I think social media is a distraction, doesn't want us observing. It wants us just paying attention to one thing. Mm-hmm. And this is why people are having mental health issues, I believe, because social media is causing it, in my opinion. By just focusing on the constant thing. And it's like, well, what else is there in the world? I'm looking at this device and I saw this stuff on here, but I just only see one thing. And it's kind of messing with your emotions in your mind, right? I believe, and I'm just going to say I believe, that there is, I don't want to just call it the government, but there's a force in this world that definitely wants to stop people from having unity. Let's just say that. Unity. Yeah. And a threat towards that is the family structure. You know what I'm saying? The family structure. So they don't want the husband. And I think they started with this program a long time ago when and this is nothing against women, but when the man went to the war and they started taxing everybody, I think they did about World War II. They started taxing. They only taxes only started because all the men was at war. There was nobody who could really fight against. No, we don't want taxes. And then they came back, everybody getting taxed. You know what I'm saying? But they also had a woman in the workforce at this point. I think this is a start of that. This is all part of a system. Once that happened in a woman, because I don't want to say it was the black woman, and today it's any woman that can go to the system and not have to depend on their man. I think what happened was that was the beginning of the separating the family structure, because now the man's not needed. I said it in our last video, the man needs to be needed. Now he's not needed. You know what I'm saying? And we're not just going to blame it on the system. A lot of men weren't taking care of business at home. Mm-hmm. You know, so they was alcoholics, and don't get me wrong, I know what's tough dealing with the world, especially for black men. But at the same time, that was part of the program. Same thing where, you know, people in the hood would find trains full of guns. Somebody was putting that into the society, right? Now, even though we know this stuff was put on people, doesn't mean that we become a victim of it and say, oh, they did it to us.
Yeah.
Even right now, oh, they're doing this to us. Well, what are we going to do to get out of it? Because they can only do what we allow them to do. So I think everybody kind of agrees there's something going on in the world where, you know, somebody's pushing this narrative that you don't need a mother and a father in a house no more. A woman shouldn't look for love. Yeah, matter of fact, you got a child or two, you shouldn't even look for it because the man don't want you. That's not, all this stuff ain't true. You know what I'm saying? But somebody's pushing this narrative. Yeah, brother, you know, this and that. You don't need no woman. And now everybody, it's all about sex. It brings it down to its most animalistic, basic form. You got what I need just based off of my nature as a man. We got what each other need, and then we can say goodbye. You know what I'm saying? And it messes up the next generation. Next generation does the same thing. So I believe there's a force. I think it's a little bit higher than the government. Somebody's looking down and saying we need to destroy this so we can control these people even better. Dads are necessary for a child, whether they're in a home or not. They need to be part of a child's life, and a mother is necessary for a child's life. And I think somebody's trying to mess up the psychology of the children, and they're trying to change that whole narrative, you know. And that's my take on that.
I have one. The next one here, I'm gonna point this one to Quantas, and then I have one for Desiree and Dream next after this. But any of y'all can butt in for the one that I have for the one. But I want to talk in Quantas, and I'm giving you this one because I did have an opportunity as we all meeting each other and saw some of the things that you talk about on your Instagram. And I think a lot of you, if y'all need to know, go to our Instagram and just follow some of her teachings as well. And it's why she's here too. There's no one here that they have chose that's not going to give you some nuggets and things in life that have not been through the things that they're talking about. And so we're going to go through that. So I want to talk about the profit of insecurity, especially when we can say a secure person buys differently from a insecure person. So when we think about this, an insecure person may spend more money trying to become attractive enough and successful enough, or maybe young enough, maybe thin enough, maybe rich enough, maybe desirable enough. But these are all industries that are built around the idea that you are not enough. So what are your thoughts about that? Because I know you do a lot of sharing with people how to raise who they are, their self-esteem, based on some of the things that you've been through as well. And we all have our own challenges. So what are your thoughts about that? Quantas, as far as them selling to insecure people?
I mean, yeah, I think it goes back to what I shared earlier with, desire being the thing that keeps people buying. And as it pertains to keeps people buying in certain ways when you speak about insecurity. And again, it goes back to some level of scarcity as it pertains to social media. And when we think about I'll say like the trickle down effect of the way that we download information or the way that information comes into our systems. First, it has to hit some level of our senses. And so with social media, I mean, it's going directly into the eyes, it's going directly into our cognition. And then once it hits us cognitively, if we see it enough, then it has the possibility to now hit us on an interoceptive level. And interoception is the felt sense of self. So if you've got somebody seeing something that they are not, if you've got them continuously hooked on things that they are not, or even if you've got them continuously hooked on narratives, as like Brother Yosef shared, if you've got them continuously hooked on that and now that it's coming in, they start to believe it. Now they start to feel like this is real. And so now once it hits the interoceptive level, there is like something within the body that starts to say, I need something. I need better. I'm like, not only do I not feel worthy, but now they don't even recognize that the feeling of worthiness is no longer a thought. They actually don't feel worthy. And so now they think that that's who they are. So in order to try to feel that, now I got to buy this, I got to do that, I got to do this, I got to do that. So, if we had to say that the attack was on something, I always say that the spiritual warfare is psychological warfare, because if it can get in your mind, and even as it pertains to, I'm in total agreement with the deconstruction of the family unit, which starts with couples. I was sharing with one of my friends that I've been in different like conscious and spiritual communities, and every community has its thing, but I see the necessity in communities that include families, couples, and children. Because there are too many people I see in my communities of women who are like, I can't come and heal because I don't have anyone to watch my children.
Yeah.
And so, just all of these things trickling down as it's coming into the perspective, into the perception, rather, that keeps people in this insecure state, and then keeps them from being in communities that involve families, and keeps them from, just receiving what they need, so that, they get to a place where they are no longer interacting with, I'll say like consumerism in the same way. I'm a consumerist person. I like to buy shit, I like to buy it, but I buy it, not out of a place of insecurity, but it's like, oh, that's nice. And I want that. But it's different when you've got people who now are affected in a way to where they feel like they need these certain things that people are pushing, but they will never be satisfied because now you got them psychologically.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
no, that is real stuff there. And once again, y'all make sure y'all not only go to our page, but come to Dallas and feel the energy and get personal conversations. This next
Can I
part
say
that I
something
want.
to that, brother?
Oh, go ahead. Yeah, there you go. My
I
bad.
want to say something. I want to. She's 100% right, and I think that's eventually what I was trying to get to, community. I think they want to stop the idea of community by getting rid of the family first, which is the basis of community. And what she said is so true, because we have a Korean guy in my tribe. I think he was raised mostly by Black people, but you know, he's kind of in Texas. He moved to Texas now. He's by himself. He's a single father. He has a daughter, like a 2-year-old daughter. He's a single father, and he's in my tribe. So we invite him to the land, and we invite him out to, you know, and his daughter don't talk to nobody. She don't come around nobody. She stay with her dad, right? We got a new sister that just moved here. Her divine feminine energy, just the baby just came to her. It was so crazy, right? And she just had this natural divine feminine energy where it was so nurturing. The baby opened up for the first time. By the end of the day, the baby was petting a dog who she's always get scared and run from. She was waving to me.
Wow.
You know what I'm saying? And I'm like, wow, this is a superpower. The child needed that community, you know. Then the sister said at the end of the meeting we had, the group gathering, she said, hey, you ever need somebody to watch your daughter? I could do that. You know what I'm saying? Exactly what Quantas was just saying. So I think that's 100% true. They want to destroy the idea of community on a greater level. So I just want to say that.
Yeah. Let me say this too, Roger, because in this book that Joseph pointed out back in the day, Thick Face, Black Heart, it says Dharma of support. Dharma of support. A thick face, Black Heart practitioner understands that the Dharma of success includes support. It is essential if you wish to succeed in life to find someone who is willing to support you unconditionally in fulfilling your dreams, or else realize that you are and your mind must form your own support troops. So that support is a very big thing in this world. And it's essentially where people are getting support from is this fake astral realm in the social media game. So either you got to get support from your ancestors on the other side, or get support from your loving mate that has your back, that knows they're going to have unconditional love for you. Now, I get it. A lot of people have trust issues, and that boils down to the ego or the demiurge coming in and infiltrating them 2 eyes, like Quantas was saying. So we got to understand how to decipher from these little nodes of information that's coming through in the social media game that's causing us to not be ourselves, because essentially like and alike are the same. So you can see some destructive stuff or some constructive stuff, and you can fall in alignment either way, but you're on that spectrum of thought, which is, yeah, I'm just a bad bitch, fuck it, or yeah, I'm Miss Independent. So naturally, you know what I'm saying, you'll be single forever if you don't know how to decipher from that ego self and start trying to build with somebody. Find somebody that genuinely finds interest in you, and you know, and see if y'all can rock on.
Yeah, that's a great point. So this next one is for you and your wife here. Like I said, I'll try to today write down some things that I can kind of touch on everyone, so that y'all know the variety of things you're going to get when you come to the live event in Dallas or watch it online. I want to get into pornography and the unrealistic sex expectations, sexual expectations. And we're talking about pornography has changed the sexual expectations of many people. Some people are learning about intimacy through performance instead of connection. And you and your wife talks about this all the time. And people can become accustomed to endless novelty, I would say. And you've all both have said this: real intimacy requires patience, vulnerability, communication, and compromise. Kind of go into, this is y'all wheelhouse, how this is going to be shared at the event when we have it as well.
Yeah, that animalistic urge is a strong thing for people, and they're stuck in essentially a hell state where they can't get out of. The lower 3 chakras will have you fucked up. Now, they're also divine, but at the same time, you can fall victim to the animal, and you don't know nothing else but the animal. When you start raising your consciousness past them lower 3 chakras up to the heart chakra, now you have love for yourself, but you have unconditional love for the people you see around you. And that means your relationship, that means your goals, your dreams, your aspirations. All of that particular energy starts to unfold and unlock as you're moving around in the world. So it's important to as people that saying they're spiritual, which I believe a lot of people ain't, but we'll just pretend like the people that are listening are. It's important to do the work on yourself, because again, when you just do the costume dress up thing, essentially you're just hiding from the real self. Like, this Aquarius age is about the work. When they say information age, it means what information have you uncovered about yourself that you can actually apply in this world as, consciousness and enlightenment. So yeah, that's what I'll say to that particular question.
Wow.
And then I'll say, in relationships, because I have heard of couples having issues, or men not finding their woman attractive long term because he's been programmed with pornography, right? And so this natural body is no longer attractive. And what I will say in situations like that is that there's a certain level of real love that person has not reached, right? Because in situations like that, let's say a woman has a baby and her man is no longer attracted to her. That means his heart is closed off to a certain level of love, right? A certain level of unconditional love.
Mhm.
Every body that I've had, every physical form that I've had, Dream has appreciated because of the level of love he actually has for me, because he loves that I birthed these children, right? He understands and appreciates what that is. And so he could never get distracted by porn, right? And forget what is real in his life.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and
Oh,
that porn is a trap, right? That's why you do practice the sexual, holding your seed and raising it up, and we'll talk a lot about that in the conference and things of that nature. But porn, masturbation, orgasm, that PMO is something that you got to practice in the self-discipline place of the animalistic urges that a lot of people are feeling with the ego. And that's the work. Honestly, the work is you raising yourself above your animal human self to become a god. So all the people that is just claiming to be, yeah, I'm a god, but you can't control your food urges, your sexual urges. You're just really, a human on earth wearing a costume, acting and portraying like a god. But we know that dashiki and that coconut oil ain't really really all what it's squared up to be. We can see it in your eyes. Like, you have to really be about this life if you're talking about becoming enlightened, because you're never going to really understand the feeling and the level of consciousness there is, the high that you feel, being away from the animal urges and things of that nature. I did a 40-day fast once, and I tell D-Ray all the time, it was the best feeling I ever felt. I never felt as clear, open, could see, understand a lot more. And, I think it's important for us to, discipline ourselves in that particular area, not just, fight or be in control of our demiurges.
And porn is a spirit as well, right? That carries a frequency and an energy, a spiritual one at that. And so many people who have been addicted to porn, or let's just say that, need to do sexual alchemy to release themselves from those attachments, from those images. It's like what Quanis was saying too, with what we are receiving, that reticular activating system, right? That's at play. It's operating whether you like it or not. And so if a person has been programmed with this, they're going to have to do the inner work to transform themselves, like understanding why they were attracted to this. What type of spirit were they in when they really started to do these practices that have become, a pattern for them. And I think this is very important to do. And I say this because Dream and I's intimacy is like Big Booty Volume 5. Okay. You know, whatever you grew up on, that was them beautiful black couples in the 90s.
That's right.
We actually have that.
Y'all see the
And
king.
no. Stop. I remember when there was a moment of us being intimate, and I was like, oh my God, this is what that ebony woman was like feeling and experiencing. Like this is the real
y'all remember
deal.
that dude with the dreads? Y'all
You
remember
know
that
what I
dude with the
mean?
dreads?
This was the
Came back
real
to life.
deal. I mean, y'all know what I'm talking
Man.
about. You've seen it before. Those
Yes,
beautiful
yeah,
black
right
couples,
here, baby.
right?
Check me out.
So, but the way that we were able to get to that point is through healing our understanding of sex, right?
Right.
Through reaching a deeper level of honor for ourselves, right? Respect for ourselves. There were things that I had to learn to be a better partner to him, things he had to learn to be a better partner to me, specifically dealing with our sexuality.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a part of the process, right? And it's possible. And now Dream and I like to, you know,
I think
do what we do.
one of the biggest aspects of it is that, you know, especially with me, just understanding that, like, all right, like what's next? Like, what else? You feel me? So, like, once you had your run, fellas, and I get it, y'all young 20-year-olds is, you know, in this game and stuff like that, you know, naturally you got to progress to understanding of, okay, I really want to build something with a goddess, right? I don't want to just be busting a nut and driving home depressed and shit 3 a.m, just be sad. I used to drive home depressed, like, what the fuck is wrong with me? Just mad, just disgusted, just mad,
Yeah,
just frustrated. And you know, that feeling is something that you got to hold on to, because then it'll wake you up and say, okay, I can do better than this. I can actually find somebody that genuinely likes me, enjoys my company. I just want to have sex with me because I'm tall or whatever, right?
mm-hmm.
So it's a thing where, you know what I'm saying, you just got to start putting the truth in perspective. Like, can you have a conversation with this person? Can y'all have, you know, can y'all flirt? Can y'all have fun? Can y'all have deep conversations? Can y'all talk and all and things of that nature? Then the sex is just like the icing on the cake. But essentially, like, can I have fun with this person for the rest of my life? You got to really ask yourself that and be, you know, honest with how you feel.
Sound like some Uno decks. But I will say to I got to echo a story to what you just said. And I once was at a meeting about money or business opportunity. And the guy was standing there in front of the room, was telling the whole room how him having money and you know, and how it didn't mean much, and you know, we shouldn't be worrying about it. And there was people clapping. And I was just thinking of that when you was talking about the late night creeping, that we don't need to go find it out. And I stood on the front row and I said, hey, brother, I need to find that shit out for myself. I get it.
Yeah.
So when you said that, like, nah, I don't think y'all want to be out there getting your shit, go home. I'm like, huh, really? So, but anyway, that's just me joking. But listen, this here, I'm going to go around the room for everybody. And hopefully when Qualis get back, she'll jump in with this. But we may have more access, I would say, to sexual content than any other generation in history. And still the struggle to feel close to one another, to another human being. So where I want to go with this, and I'm going to have, after I say this, I got about 4 questions that I'm just going to put out there and all of y'all can just hop in on it. We're going to talk about the hookup culture. And we're talking about, and Brother Joseph actually said some few things, but casual sex is often presented as freedom. You know, we know that now, right? And for some people, it may genuinely feel like it's free, or freedom, but for others, it could be a cycle of temporary connection without emotional security. So my question is, just to kind of throw out there, I wrote them down: have society confused sexual access with emotional intimacy? And then another one is, are people afraid to admit that they actually want commitment? And then are we talking about, is caring becoming more embarrassing, or are people pretending to have feelings because they are vulnerable? So, and these are things that we're going to discuss because we know that's one of the reasons we're here in August and everything else. But what do y'all think? And just throwing it out there about the hookup culture as being the catalyst of all that. And any one of y'all can go first, but
Yeah, I think the ego is a motherfucker. Like, again, like guys is like a scoreboard. Like,
yeah,
boys don't really have no real interest in the female. They're just trying to see if they can hit and get a score. You feel me? Whatever that means in their mind. So even in the aspect of sex, it's an egoic thing for men, right? So naturally, you got to fall out of that space of trying to be the man or whatever, and and fall into enjoying the experience, like enjoying the experience to get to know somebody. And then, I had a particular girlfriend or whatever that I really didn't like at all. And I'm just with her, like, why am I with you? What am I doing here? What the fuck? Right. And honestly, it was just to have sex. That's it. So the weird part of that is like, all right, after this 20 minutes is done, now what? Like, I can't talk to you. I don't want to talk to you. I don't really have we don't have no deeper conversations. Your mind doesn't move me that way. You know what I'm saying? We don't move each other. We're on two different levels of consciousness. So, you know what I'm saying? A lot of times it just be the glamour, and the glamour is this false reality energy that we got to understand that's not us at all. Like, if we're outside of this world or thinking outside of the box, we're above get to know somebody, really have genuine conversations. Can you have deep conversations and late night talks that moves more than your loins?
Are people able to have conversations? That's a question.
Oh no, absolutely not. These niggas out of there, Quanah. So y'all in trouble. I swear, boy. They don't have no game, no ability to talk, no ability to see, or ability to use eye contact. It's just really weird. I don't know. I get it. They haven't grown up in a particular time where you had to go out and get it. But essentially, like, we got to get back to having real conversations instead of in the DMs and all this other stuff. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I think it goes back to a question that Roderick asked earlier about the insecurities. As we talk about like the hookup culture, and another question he brought up was like, are people afraid to admit that they want to be committed and things of that nature? I think that more than anything, people are afraid to actually be committed, what commitment would require of them, and they don't feel worthy of commitment. So, it's too insecure to even allow a person to see parts of their heart for the connection to even happen. And so now it remains surface level. So, so in order to feel some type of connection, they got to try and stick it in you because they want to feel connected probably. That's a way to feel connected.
Yeah.
But it's, to me, and I know different strokes for different folks and different people's experiences and things of that nature. But to me, it's a manifestation of like trying to access the union and trying to access the heart without actually having to open up and allow someone to really see you.
Yeah.
There you go. That's a fact.
Yep. That was my thoughts exactly. What I see is really a lot of fear from both men and women, right? When I'm listening to the rhetoric in tonight's conversation, it's a whole bunch of people in fear of judgment, in fear of criticism, in fear of not being enough, in fear of not being worthy enough to have what it is that they desire. And so a lot of these people, they use these rhetorics to disguise that fear. So they'll say, all men are this, but it's really because they're afraid to actually allow themselves to love again. It's easier to go with the beliefs that it's not supposed to work, right? That is out of balance, that, you know, men and women are just not really supposed to. It's easier to believe that than to face the fear of loving, than to face the fear of loving yourself enough to know that you're worthy of love from another person. You know,
Wow.
so
Yeah, and I'll just say, I did a video years ago called "What Is Love," and some people ask me, where did I get that understanding about love from? Because I study energy, and when you study energy, you understand. It makes you understand the world around you a lot better. And I'll tell people that there's different forms of love. You got earth love, good sex, good food, a good laugh, and that energy ends in about 1.5 to 2 years. It ain't really there no more. The spark is gone. That's a false illusion of love. You think because of the sex is good, you think you're in love. That's a lie, you know. Because he's funny and he makes you laugh, you might think you're in love. These are just stages, right?
mhm.
But most people always say they never experience true love until they have their first child. When they have their first child, they finally know what real love is. Because here's a person that you got to do everything for. They're not giving you nothing back right now. And you're doing everything for this child. That's pure, unadulterated love. And the closest most humans can get to that is compassion. You may have a person that's a little wild in the mind, but every now and then they'll show somebody compassion. You know what I mean? Compassion is good. But at the same time, I would just say this, when people are, especially women, when you're dating, even ask yourself, does this guy even like me? If he's not trying to get to know you, that's a red flag. If he's only trying to get to your house and he's only trying to ask what you trying to do later, you know what I'm saying? Some people get right to it. What you trying to do? You know what I'm saying? Like they go right to the point, right? And if you grown, cool. You know what I'm saying? But if you're looking for a love or a relationship, this man should be taking time to kind of get to know you. Because when a man like you is very obvious. And it's almost like women don't see it sometimes when he don't like you. If he's trying to get in your pants real fast, he don't like you. He just like as a man, he likes maybe your body. Your body looks good to him. So he's trying to get with that and see where, and some people just say, hey, let's go with that and see where it goes. You know what I'm saying? Let's see where it goes. I think some people just hope. They wish. You know what I'm saying? You remember Cedric Entertainer said, black people don't hope, we wish.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Somebody will be in our feet when we get to the thing.
Mm-hmm.
I think black people just wishing. I hope and wish that, this work out between us instead of
praying and stuff. Yeah, exactly.
You know what I'm saying? Instead of trying to make it work. Okay, he did it 4 times. Maybe he liked me. No, he don't. He like your body. He don't like your mind. He don't like your attitude. He don't like the way you talk. He don't like the way you act. He just like what he see.
Ain't that so damn crazy though? I gotta pause because we gotta talk about this. I'm sorry.
Mm-hmm.
That's crazy as hell. Mm-hmm. That as men, y'all could not like a woman the way she talk, the way she think, the way she feel, the way she act, and sit your ass up there and play the just for some ass. I mean, that's what I'm saying. We got to do better with that.
Men are different.
I know men are different. Imagine
it's not our fault.
Game you're playing on a woman's mind to be sitting there entertaining her like that.
I feel you, Desiree, but is it not obvious?
It'd be so, but that's the thing. So I was gonna hold women accountable because you can feel it, girl. You know when it's not there, girl. You know when it's not there, and you playing yourself. You playing yourself. So both men and women have to do better.
Yeah.
Right. Both men and women have to come into awareness of what it is you
in the middle,
truly need.
Behind that white box.
Right.
Well, right. What is it that you're really trying to get out of this, and be honest about that, right?
Yeah.
I think people are not aware of themselves, and so you'll be in these situations and not know that it's the unworthy you that is staying in this thing, or whatever it may be, or you know what I mean? So that inner work is so necessary.
It does. It does go both ways, because it's a matter, to me, like from where I sit now, it's a matter of integrity for the man. So it's a matter of honesty with herself and like tapping into your intuitive faculties as a woman. Like, come on, girl.
Right.
Come on. But also, if you don't know that you're worth more than that, then it is easy to get caught up in that trap. But from like an integrity from the man's standpoint, you also know when the woman is really feeling you and you not feeling it. So it's like, all right, you can be honest with her, and sometimes men do be honest, and she'll be listening. So it's real. It can get very nuanced. It can get very nuanced.
So this is where the social engineering comes in. We watched Love Island. We watched it and we decoded it and we whatever, and we had conversation about it, what we were seeing, how we perceiving what's happening. And you best believe you can get on Threads, you can get on Instagram, you can get on YouTube, you're going to see think pieces about how people are observing the dynamics amongst those couples. And those narratives become reiterated, right? You get a bandwagon of people that think this, right? You get a bandwagon of people that think that. And these are the things that reinforce these dynamics that we were just talking about. Right? Everybody identifying with what they're seeing on the TV. The beautiful thing about us is that we literally just looking at it, like not necessarily putting ourselves in their shoes, so to speak. And so I think that's a part of, this social engineering thing, getting you riled up and you got to stand for this side and you got to stand for this. Like, y'all, it's crazy to see the comments that people leave talking about the people on the TV.
Yeah, I want to hit on this before we move forward. Go ahead.
Go ahead, Joseph.
I want to say something real quick. I think, and this is my opinion, I think men understand women way more than women understand men, right? And I'm saying that only because men are hunters by nature, right? So we walk in a room and we start, I wish there was a comedy spell. I always had a comedy thing in my head. The stuff that men think for 5 minutes. A man walks into a room with a party, the stuff that he will be thinking. He walks in, he's hunting. He's a hunter. So he looking, the girl who got the Daisy Duke shorts on, she's an easy catch. I'll talk to her later. Depending on how he's feeling for the day, maybe he's been lonely for the past week. He finally realized, I think I want a good woman. So he know the girl in the corner with Daisy Duke is an easy catch. He knows this. He knows he can talk to her. He knows that she's going to give it up. I don't know if she know that, but maybe she know what she's doing. Of course she knows what she's doing, right? And then he looks at a lady who's very, she's more well-dressed. She's off in the corner by herself. She's quiet. And then she's not loud. And he's looking at her like, I think I'll see what she about. See, because when you're quiet and you're a mystery to him, now he got to come to you and he got to get to know you. You know what I'm saying? He wants to get to know you. But if you're out there with Daisy Dukes on, twerking in the middle of the party, he know who you are already. He knows who you are, So I think women have to understand men a little bit more, our nature. Not to say it's an excuse, but we're hunters. All you need to do to keep a man happy, and every man know this: sex, support his dreams, and give him some good food every now and then. We don't need nothing else. I promise you.
There's a good.
No man gonna disagree with that. Support his dream. Tell him, baby, you could do it. You know what I'm saying? I believe in you. It's over with. Give him some sex every now and then, and cook him some good food. He ain't going nowhere.
There's a good book called All.
No, sisters are different.
Give us some.
We're a little different. It's a lot of things they may want. You know what I'm saying? like y'all seen that thing? Like you, here go the world, baby. I bought you the world. She be like, you forgot the moon and the stars. Where's the moon and the stars at? Like,
where is that? Where is that though?
Hey,
I'm just saying.
Yeah.
Listen, this is for Desiree when she was crunked and said, "Why would a man, blah blah blah." Let me just put it like this: a lot of you women are great salesmen, and I have been among the sales pitch of what was there and how good it was, and it does make you put on your glasses and your bib and say, "I gotta go in." You gotta get ready. You know what I'm saying? And like, well, now don't get me wrong, you don't have to take it off when you find out she lied. But at the end of the day, so don't blame it on how could a man when she's telling you that piece of ASS is all that in a bag of chips, and you're curious. You gotta know like what makes it that good, or whatever. So that's just one of the conversations. Let me get out of that, and I just want
y'all are so wild.
Well, one of the biggest aspects, especially when we talk about the social media app, them Christian mingle hoes, They
Christian
going,
mingle hoes.
yeah, the
Bro.
Christian mingle, them
Bro.
they be
Yeah,
the
they
real,
the worst
they
one.
be the ones that's going. So you know, sometimes you can't judge a book by its cover because they go quick.
That's what I was
Hey,
gonna say, brother Yosef. And now the girl's working in the middle of the party. I mean, she just might be able to enjoy herself. She might not be giving it up. Sometimes it be them quiet ones.
Man, quiet
Man.
one, man, you'd be surprised.
It's true, right? But sometimes, no, the quiet ones surprise you when you get with them. But the ones that's twerking, if a woman ain't got if she can twerk in some Daisy Dukes in front of everybody, she ain't got no shame in her game, and everybody know it's like she's open. You know what I'm saying? The hunters know, like, okay, I could talk to her. You know what I'm saying? She might give me some play, but the quiet sister in the background may be like, oh well, I'm a lady, and I don't just give my number out to everybody. That's how we do.
Well,
You know what I'm
that's
saying?
perception.
She
That's
could be
I talk
lying.
the game. I'm not in the game,
She's
but I
lying.
talk to everybody. You know what I'm saying? I talk to everybody. I know what's going on. You know what I'm saying? So I'm telling y'all, right?
all
And
about
there's men
how
who
you
know.
hear it.
Brothers who any single man, you trying to get something for the night, you walk into a club and see the sister twerking, there's a whole bunch of girls twerking, you're going that way, brother. Because you know it's your best chances as a hunter. You're going to get prey. Right? Am I lying, brother? That's how men think. That's how we think. Oh, that's my best chances. And we don't care about your feelings, ladies. Men don't be caring. Like a man could love a woman, he could literally love a woman and still go out and cheat. I'm not saying you should, but that's horrible. But men can do this because we don't get emotionally attached. We don't care if you're crying, if you're gonna cut our tires, you mad at us. We're moving on with our life.
Mm-hmm.
Unless we loved you. If we love you, we love hard. You know?
Yeah, the
you
one
cheat on a man, find out you cheat, you leaving the first time. He done. He done.
In the middle.
Cheating on 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 times. You know what I'm saying?
The ones in the middle
So,
that's twerking, the ones in the middle that's twerking with the Daisy Dukes on and stuff like that, and short shorts, ass out. You usually gotta give them that $40 and stuff, $40, $60. Then they're gonna go. But the one in the corner with the glasses, quiet,
right.
Oh no, I don't do that. She come out of nowhere.
Right. What they gonna do, babe? You silly.
Like
that. She jump out.
Oh God, she jump out. You get home. You don't even
don't get me wrong.
Right. You don't give her
no. That reminds me of the scene from Don't Be a Menace when he was in the. Y'all remember he was in the Marlon Wayans was in the van with the girl and she had on the dress.
Oh yeah. Yeah, those are one, man. You be surprised.
I just want to put on the record. Huh? I want to put on a record. If your ass get twerk, bring your ass to the crib and twerk at home. I bring it home. Bring it to the
house. It's
gonna
last, right? It's gonna last. But you walk in the
room. Bring that ass to the house. Let's go with that.
If
that's on your resume, you twerk on your resume. I'm checking the box. Okay.
Yes, it can. If it can. But usually, I don't know. I'm gonna shut up before I. But at the end of the day, let me say this: a man walks into a building. Y'all know the singer Her, right? Mm-hmm. Singer Her is very laid back, timid girl. But she could sing well. It's a bunch of those in the corner, and then it's a bunch of sexy reds in the other corner.
Mm-hmm.
Now you got two complete spectrums, Joseph.
I say you ain't giving us no nuance, right? You ain't because
all the way over there. Okay,
you might be her on Monday and sexy red on Tuesday.
You got the bad. You got so many stages of.
I'm about to give you what you do to me.
I'm just trying to get a sister some game. Like I'm just tell you how the men think. We like, oh, the hoes over there. The man going where the hoes at. You know what I'm saying? He might swing over there. Because there's some man who, I hate to say it, they don't mind breaking a good girl heart. They'll break a good girl heart fast. Give her the game, play with her, just move on. So I'm just putting perspectives out there, Get people think. That's all.
I feel like this is a very nuanced, as someone who is in different communities with different types of people, and also as a woman who has like 10 versions of me, this is a very nuanced conversation. But what I just want to say before we move forward is for the women, period. I think that as we talk about like social media and things that come in, I believe that what has done a number on us is Disney, is the fairy tale loves, is romance novels and things of that nature. And so it's really important as you're getting hit on by the man and he fits the fantasy, or he's doing XYZ and it fits the fantasy, to really become much more practical
Mhm.
about what's going to work for you, about what you're choosing and things of that nature, whether you are a sexy red or a her. It doesn't
Mhm.
really matter.
Mhm.
Allowing yourself to come out of the fantasy and become very practical about what you're
Love
choosing.
all y'all. Absolutely.
You got to
Well,
pay attention to your dreams, ladies. Y'all know y'all gonna be having dreams. You got to pay attention to your dreams. Again, there's a good book called All Women Are Psychic. I even read the book, and essentially, like, y'all have this intuitive nature that y'all know is something you're born with. You just got to tap into it if you fell into victimhood of the masculine, driven, patriotic society.
True.
all right. So I'm going to move us on. We got about 15 minutes left because there are people that are married and they are obligated to go do things later. It's part of the contract. And am I wrong? No. Look, you get no
Not at
married
all,
person
sir.
would have gets that deal. So the whole point is we'll go into this real quickly about when, and it kind of segues from what y'all was talking about a while ago, where the culture teaches people to connect physically and not mentally. And one of the things uh, that I think is we're seeing it out here is where it's almost like society and the conspiracy of it all is made people needing someone sounds weak, right? So it's like our culture is celebrating independence. It's talking about how people proudly say, I don't need anybody, nobody can hurt me now, or I can do everything myself. But we all kind of know that at some point this human experience is social creatures, and but yet we are being hearing and people are seeing it through the scrolls all day long about not needing anyone. And there's people probably sitting there who want to just say it. How easy is that is if two people on the same page? If we are men, we do meet a woman who says, hey, I can, do all this by myself, but I do need a man, or same vice versa. I think that's to be the easiest thing for a man to know, where he could fit in if the honesty was there, because at this point now, there's many times that we can walk away from someone and be like, she don't need, and not that she doesn't need it, even would she respect it, even in the system. It don't mean is she's bringing home the bacon or he bringing home the bacon and she said, I bring home the pig. We're still talking about being a man in that house, when it comes down for that. Or if you're dating someone and the kids are involved, do you see the value of a man in a house or a woman if the man had children or whatever? Let me let y'all throw that out there as far as needing somebody. It appears that it's a weakness that people just don't want to admit to.
There's a big understanding that mind control is the biggest catalyst that's driving social media, and monkey see, monkey do. So, the sheep are following a particular idea, a patriotic idea that's not serving their greater good, right? They're basically not going to fall into the call of adventure, right? The hero with 1,000 faces. You have to have these adventures, good or bad. Um, oh, I shouldn't have did this. I shouldn't have did that. No, it's all an adventure. Like the experience is teaching you something. Even if you felt like you quote unquote took a loss with this relationship, there is no loss. There's just lessons learned. So you have to go on these adventures, right? And experience and understand what you like and what you dislike, right? If you don't have them adventures, then how do you know who can help you, who can help best serve you? So again, I think a lot of times people are afraid to go on these adventures because they're thinking um like they don't want to get played. You feel me? That whole played energy is a fear-based vibration. Like you got to understand, like, hey, this thing is ebbs and flows, things come and go. And as long as you're moving in a direction of truth and authentic energy, then essentially you'll find the right one as you navigate through this world.
I think that this just goes into, for me, was one of the preparatory acts that I had to admit to myself prior to in my last relationship, at the end of it, what he said to me was, I don't understand my place in your life. And
Mhm.
although he was not my person, I am a person who learns from experience. So I was like, all right, you ain't it, but bet. And so as I took my time and just seeing the way that my life is set up as an entrepreneur, as a mom, I take care of myself, I've got all of these things going. When I decided that I needed partnership, not wanted, but needed, it was important for me then to say, okay, well, what is a man's place in your life? And then to create that place. So rather than being afraid to say, I need somebody to come into my life and XYZ, and then being all right with also understanding that there is a place in my life that is not necessarily 100% full, and being okay with sitting with that, rather than like what most people will try and do is try and like, let me fill it up, let me pull this and that. It's like, no, I understand that one of the things like that brother Joseph said, men need to feel useful or needed, rather, need to feel needed. And so as a woman, it's like, all right, the expression of that need for me is making sure that I am being very intentional about creating space in my life and saying, hey, I need you.
Good.
Well
Yeah.
said. Run for president. All right, Brother Joseph, this is going to kind of go with you and some things you said, but the rest of y'all can jump in. And then since we don't have about 10 minutes, I had a few other things to carry us, but I want to talk about, and of course, Quanis mentioned this the other day about people traumatized and dating at the same time. When we mentioned it last week, caught my attention to write some things down, but we'll skip that one. We can come back to it. But let's talk about the therapy language, Brother Joseph, that I think is being misused out there. Words like toxic, narcissism, trauma, gaslighting, boundaries, red flags. And it seems that people are using this to understand unhealthy behavior, but also it seems to be unused. I mean, overused, so to speak, right?
Mhm.
People are just overusing it, and sometimes a disagreement is just a disagreement, and they don't understand that on emotional intelligence, and now all of a sudden it's a narcissist, is this, because they're looking for that and taking that meaning the other way. And I know you and I talk that sometimes even in your tribe there are just things that they just need to know, hey, this is not that, so let's kind of go into that a little bit as far as just being misused, all of these words. I'm not saying they don't exist, but it seems like people are able to just throw that label, narcissist or trauma, gaslight, it's like, here, just slap it on there so I can go the other way.
I think people use it to control people without a shadow of a doubt. They'll use it to put you in a position of to make you feel what's the word I'm looking for? They want to make you feel like guilty or something like that because they're not happy with you. So they'll say you're this, you're that. And sometimes they're calling you that because they've been called that before and they're triggered by it.
Okay.
And now you're calling them that and they're like, no, that's what you are. I'm not that. That's what you are. You know what I'm saying? But a person who is not that is never really going to be triggered by it. They're going to be like, hey, you can call me that if you want. My lifestyle speaks for itself. If I am that, everybody sees it. If I'm not that, everybody sees it. So I know when a person could be calling you a liar or calling you or saying things about you that ain't true. I always tell people, judge people by their fruit. If you see a recurring action in a person, those people are that. Whether they're whatever traumas they have. I think that people who are toxic use it as a defense mechanism to say, oh, that person is he's this. Every guy they broke up with is a narcissist. Every person they broke up with is a liar. They didn't do nothing. It takes two to tango. You know what I'm saying? Like they say, it's three versions to the truth. His truth, her truth, and the actual truth. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, I think it is overused today. But from experience dealing with a lot of people in the world, I would say there's a lot of that is true at the same time. You know what I'm saying? There's a lot of people who are these things, and they get very defensive when I feel like if you're my friend and you think I'm a narcissist, tell me. You know what I'm saying? Tell me, and it's going to show. I don't mind a friend holding me accountable for something I did wrong. Like I always tell people, I got a few people that I know for years. They can hold me accountable and say, man, you're messing up. You did this wrong. Even if I'm their chief in the tribe, they can pull me to the side and say, nah. Like my boy Buddy, my boy Chris, I knew him for over 13 years. They can say, Joseph, I hear what you're saying, but with all due respect, you're wrong, brother. And I'm like, dang, bro, okay, tell me what I did wrong. I'm going to listen to them because they know me. You see what I'm saying? 13, 14 years. But a person who knew for a year or two, you can't call me a narcissist or say that I gotta show those characteristics. So yes, I agree that people overuse it. They use toxic language to kind of hurt people and say things. But if your characteristics prove it, then you have to take that and grow from it. You know what I'm saying? It's okay if somebody call you something. If you heard 3 people call you the same thing, you gotta eventually think that, you know, am I really that? You know what I'm saying? Maybe I am. That's the 3rd boyfriend that called me. That's the 3rd girlfriend that called me that. Maybe I am that. And stop hiding it. And I always tell people that I say the last thing, the worst thing a person could do is lie to themselves. You can never change, you'll never grow if you continue to lie to yourself. So I tell people to practice that.
Bars.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, if y'all don't have anything to say, I got one last thing before we get out of here. I think it's really important. I want everybody to chime in on this one by one, 2, where the pairs over there.
Let me say something really quick, Roger.
Yeah, go ahead.
It was in my mind while Yosef was talking, but it slipped. Was that yes, these words are overused, but it gave people something to identify with, right? It did give language. It did give verbiage to things that people were actually experiencing. And it's super important to be able to name something, because if you can name something, you can change something, right? And so it did that. But I think one of the problems is that people start to over-identify with these words. So on one hand, it's being overused, right? Like you're just talking about it too much, but also over-identifying with it. We see the same thing with people, being neurodivergent or ADHD or, on the spectrum and things like that. Just this need to label ourselves and put ourselves in boxes. So I think with the relationships, it's the same kind of frequency.
Right. Okay.
Yep.
All right.
The X9 ain't you, family. Stop thinking you a animal or Capricorn or whatever you think you is. That's ego. That's the ego sign.
All right. But August the 8th, everyone, you want to definitely, there's a link in the description before we get to this last piece that I think that it's going to be intriguing to hear everybody's answer to this one. Even though I had another more, but I think this one will get us out of here next here. But again, go in the description of the video. Everyone you see here is going to be here in Dallas, Texas. If you're near Dallas, and if you can't come, you can get a live stream and watch some things to get some of the uncensored conversations that you're going to have. The best part, when you have a smaller environment like this, you get to meet some of these people personally and maybe just ask that question that you want in proximity, because it's all about proximity when we do this on that Saturday, August the 8th, the whole Lions Gate, from there. So we want to make sure we do that. And let me take us to a conclusion with this particular statement. And I wrote in the headline, the death of compromise. And this is very important because I think this is probably a good foundation even for the event to talk to people like this, because many people are told not to settle. And of course, when you listen to that, it sounds empowering when we start thinking about it. But every relationship requires some form of compromise, right? We know this, and you and Desiree and y'all talk about it all the time, how y'all had to go through this. But the question becomes, what is settling, and what is simply accepting another human being that will be never custom built for you, right? Because everybody's looking for this. Oh, I made my list, and here's my manifestation of a man or a woman, and she's going to come like this. Or let me just kind of throw some questions out real quick to end, for us to come to the conclusion. Have our standards become unrealistic, or are people looking for compatibility or perfection? You know, what are they looking for? And can we have standards without expecting what Quana said a while ago, fantasy, right? The Disney stuff, you know, when it comes down to this, or have people forgotten that relationships require adjustments? How do we take them into our event with that as well? And how do y'all want to get them to think about it? Because I think that's a real important issue or conversation for people to look in the mirror when we think we're looking for this perfect being versus compromise. But hey, I don't want to settle, but is it settling?
I think that people over time have confused compromise with self-betrayal. And so
Mm,
for me, that's where the line is. It's like it's different when you're being asked to adjust certain things. Are you being asked to adjust certain things that are actually not problematic, but they're problematic for the other person? So that's the
Mhm,
thing. It's a matter of, is this an actual issue, or do they just find issue with it? But
mhm,
then the settling part is, am I going to accept something that would lead to a betrayal of myself, of my heart, of my values, of my
mhm.
purpose, and things
Yeah.
of that nature? So I look at it from that angle. And otherwise, it's like you said, it's like with our children. We learn what true love is as a mother with the child, and it's like, okay, I'm going to compromise, but I'm not going to betray myself as a mother. And
Yeah.
so I feel like it's the same with any kind of love.
Yeah, the biggest symbol you have is the one looking in the mirror. So we know that symbols are the language of the subconscious mind. So your image is something that you have to love first. And if you don't love yourself, then how are you going to love another? So essentially, you can grow to loving yourself or be in the work of loving yourself, and then you can actually start loving another, right? Um, so in that point of view, from that point of view, the love that you're expressing with yourself it'll become easier, right, for you to fall in love with another. I think a lot of times we're making this thing more difficult than it is. The glamour and all the looks, and he got to be 6'7", and he got to be strong, and she got to have a 36, 22, 48, and all this other stuff, right? That's the illusion of the glamour world, right? And that's just the ego, the demiurge playing tricks on you. Like, them girls are not going to be good for you. That guy is not going to be good for you. So essentially, you got to fall in love with yourself and understand that the love that you have for yourself, there's going to be somebody that reciprocates that same energy to you, that you can also reciprocate to her or him as well.
Mm.
Brother
I-
Elsa or
Oh,
Desiree?
yeah, I think, yeah.
Well, I was over here really thinking, um, do people actually consciously settle? And if they are consciously settling, are they doing it because they believe that that's the best that they could get? Right? Like, do people, so an example of this, my brother married a woman that was 7 years older than him. She was way
That's true.
thicker than him, way thicker than him. He's a petite guy. And they really don't look like they were supposed to be matched up. Like, my brother is young, vibrant, athletic, dressed well, and he's dating this woman who is, you know, a little bit bigger, teacher, like doesn't have that same pizzazz that he has. And I'm pretty sure my brother knows that he could get a beautiful woman because he's a very attractive young man. So from the outside looking in, it could look like my brother settled, but it was something that she was actually giving him or making him believe that led him to ultimately go to that courthouse and get married, right? Now, the relationship did not work out, but that's a part of why we see that sometimes people are doing things unconsciously. It's not even a settling or a not settling. It's this is the situation, that I find myself in. But if I had to give it a definition, I would say settling is when you have a desire in your heart and there's something that you need out of your love and your connection and your relationships, and you are consciously aware that it is not there in that situation, and you stay. That would be settling to me. I don't know if a lot of people are doing that. I want to hear from y'all. But yeah, that's my.
There's a
my
lady.
thoughts.
There was a lady in Ohio. She was on drugs, and her dude, he was on drugs too. They end up having sex and having a baby, and essentially, they didn't work out. They were strung out on drugs, blah blah blah, and the dude just was out of his life, and the mama was raising the child by himself. But then she couldn't really do it because she was still on drugs, so she ended up giving the child to another family and all of this other stuff. Anyway, that child ended up being LeBron James. So naturally, I think we got to understand that everything is everything. Like, don't beat yourself up because oh, my baby daddy, he's full of shit, he's a bullshit ass person. No, for some reason you had to bring this particular life down here into this earth realm so they can learn lessons that's beyond you, that's way above you.
Yeah.
So naturally, we got to understand that, as you're having this adventure, don't apply so much pressure to yourself to get things right. You know what I'm saying? Once you move into the space of saying, okay, I love me. So as much as I love me, I know that, I'm putting my best foot forward in a conscious awareness place that I'm at that moment, then so shall it be. So it is written, right? And, there's things that we got to look at. Some things is predestined, and some, like I look at all 4 of my kids, I know they were supposed to be here. I didn't want to have 4 kids. I'm like, God damn, these motherfuckers here is a handful. But you know what I'm saying? That's what it is. And naturally, we got to be able to just keep on swimming and not be so
you gotta learn to accept.
Oh, no, I don't want to.
People have to learn to accept their decisions and grow from it.
Right. Yeah.
Like when we're talking about, did I settle? Like, to me, that's, I guess that's something that a person could reflect on, but it's like, where do you go from here? Right? What do you, like, you made that decision for a reason. It is so important to understand what that is, because when you do, it makes sense, and now you're able to move in a way that truly serves your highest good.
The biggest devil is comparison syndrome. Y'all looking at these fake people on social media and they don't really have a loving relationship, but y'all looking at them because they rented a yacht for a weekend. It's like it's a sham. It's a sham. Like, that's why I tell everybody, change your whole social media settings and just watch uplifting, high vibrational stuff. Like, y'all see when I used to do them, what I called it, whenever I scroll down on YouTube on my Instagram.
Motion
Mondays. I used to just scroll on my Instagram, nothing but high vibrational information coming to your feed every time, nothing else, right? So I think we're getting lost in this fake astral world that doesn't serve our greater good, and we got to understand that the ego is a motherfucker. It's hard to get.
I want to say something real quick on that. I think to a degree, everybody settles a little bit in life when it comes to a partner, because your partner ain't perfect, right? Now, there's something you should never settle for, right? But I think everybody settles to a certain extent, because as much as we love our partners, they ain't perfect. And they may have that one thing about you that annoy you to death. You know what I'm saying? We love our children, but your children, you may have that one bad child that you got to get a whooping every day. You know what I'm saying? And this joker just bad. You know what I'm saying? Every time you leave the house, they're acting a fool, right? So you settle because you love that child. You're like, okay, I'm gonna deal with this child being bad now. I got faith when he get older or she get older, they're gonna be a better person. That's how it goes sometimes. So I think to a degree we all settle a little bit when it comes to relationships just to make it work. You know what I mean? In some ways. I just wanted to say that.
All right. Quanis, you good? You want to, or are we good? All right. So at this point, I wanted to bring us to a close and tell each and every one of you, you could have been anywhere else tonight, but you chose to be here right now. And therefore, I'm sure you heard what you needed to hear or got a better perspective. But imagine a more deeper perspective when things come down in August a little bit. We try to use these time to give you the mindset and perception of how the people here see the world. And like I say, you may not agree with anything I say, and you may disagree with what someone else say, but I'm sure as a collective you'll find something that can help you, or you can begin the process to reflect on, or anything else. And so I just want to thank each and one of y'all being here. I'm gonna put back on the screen. You can kind of screenshot this real quickly for the event. What's going to be happening August the 8th from 12 p.m. to 6 p.m. Central Time. Of course, this flyer is missing the greatness of Quana there, but y'all see her live right here. She will be here with us. And so, yeah, she's going to be here.
I said, we got to get you the one with Quanis on it.
Oh, yeah. Okay. So they got to get me with one with Quanis on it. But let me just do it like this. She's on the flyer. There you go. There you go, right there in full color and everything else. And so again, we love each and every one of you. It is about love, and of course, at this point, having that true love and experience in life that you don't have to do it by yourself. So we will see y'all on the next one. And those of you who are in the panel, we're going to hang out and say things behind everybody's back while they're not. Okay. All right. I'm going to close this out. And again, the links to the Eventbrite is in the description of this video here on Forbidden Knowledge. On the other channels, they'll have links as well, depending on where you are watching it. I will tell you to go ahead and hop in and get your, if you're going to watch it live and or in the live stream or whatever, we would love to give you a shout out the next time we come out live to, just welcome you coming to Dallas, and maybe you haven't been here or whatever, but get your presence tickets and then we will see y'all soon. All right, let me shut this down and y'all can see each other on the other side.